Shoot your arrows! Cooper Kupp plucks it out of the air and gives the Rams the lead. Robert Woods, touchdown! LA! Goff goes crashing into the end zone. Aaron Donald almost beat the football there. Corey Littleton, have yourself a day. Picked off. Marcus Peters coming off the edge. And Ryan will be wrapped up by Clay Matthews. Everett in stride! Wow!
Franklin Myers gets his hand down there.
Leno got a hand on it. Did he pick it? He did!
Racing down the sideline is Akeem Talib. Gurley for MVP! Touchdown LA!
Picked off by John Johnson.
Well, it's Dante Fowler who is able to get to breathe. Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl! LA will play for the Lombardi!
Welcome back, guys, to another Downtown Rams podcast, episode 197. I'm your host, Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me, as always, is Alexis Kraft. It's another draft season podcast, and in this episode, we have two studs on the offensive side of the ball. We have two studs that have met with the Rams, and you'll hear that later on, of course, but one hails from North Dakota State, the running back that just had a private visit with the Rams, Bruce Anderson, and the other is a Hawaii wide receiver you need to know the name of, John Ursua. Those guys were awesome. We had a blast interviewing them. Before we get into it, if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate it. We'll be doing giveaways soon, so definitely be sure to do that. And we got some awesome stuff planned for the rest of the draft season. But first, enjoy this show. All right, guys, joining us on the podcast, we've had him on before, North Dakota State running back Bruce Anderson. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
It's going real good. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so excited to talk to you. And just to start this, we kind of want to learn a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
It all started when I was about 3 or 4. I saw my first football game, and I kind of told my mom I always wanted to play football ever since. And she tried to get me in flag and stuff growing up. But I told her I want to play tackle football. I told her that flag football wasn't violent enough, or it was too easy.
I love that, man. Did you have a favorite NFL player growing up?
Yeah, I idolized all the great running backs from Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, you name it. I watched those players just growing up, and just kind of that reassured the love of the game for me, just how they made football look like an art form, really, and just what they were able to do with the ball in their hands and how just effortless it looked. So that kind of reassured my love of the game watching them growing up.
That's awesome. And, you obviously play football growing up, and then it's time for you to play in college, and you end up committing to North Dakota State. What was the main factor for you in choosing to play there?
It was really the tradition that kind of was why I went up there. I kind of took my visit up there because of tradition, and I just fell in love with the coaching staff at the time. The offense was amazing. That's an ideal place to go for a running back. They rush the ball quite a bit. They have a great line every year, so it was just kind of a no-brainer, if you will, going up there to play running back. And the pro-style offense is just another huge seller because they're able to run, it translates best to the NFL. And then I fell in love with the town. It just kind of, everything just kind of lined up, and it was just like, this is where I'm supposed to be at.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. The North Dakota State Bison have really terrorized the FCS as like the Alabama of, the league, and definitely a good spot to play your college football. But, I want to ask you what it was like, getting to play with guys like Carson Wentz and, of course, Easton Stick.
It was amazing, just playing with guys like that on such high level who knows the game of football, like no other, and just has such love for the game. I just surrounded myself with great teammates over the years, from Carson Wentz to Easton Stick to Darius Shepard to another running back, Lance Dunn. It's just like we all share the love for the game, and we just have such a strong passion for the game. So we're just able to kind of feed off each other's energy and just really enjoy, what we do.
That's awesome. And, they definitely are great guys. And I'm sure you guys had like a lot of Great memories from playing at North Dakota State. Do you have a favorite game or a favorite memory?
They were all big time for me. I think my favorite game or one of my favorite memories was just, I would say junior year when we won the national championship. It was just like extra special, just seeing how everything unfolded. We snapped the play with a few seconds on the clock. We ran like a no play. Easton's kind of scrambled around in the backfield until time fell down and took a knee and just threw the ball up, and it just all felt so like surreal. It was just like a movie almost, and it was just something that's been stuck in my mind, ever since. I carry that around with me when I think about the game of football.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. And obviously, playing at North Dakota State, you went up against some top-notch competition, but who would you say is the toughest player you went up against while in college?
I would say Sanders from, was it Western Illinois, number 99? I think he was just a beast out there. He was just able to, impose his will on people, and he was a great guy as well as a football player. So.
Oh yeah. Colin Saunders is a beast. So that definitely is a good answer. I can imagine that it would not be very easy to play against him at all.
No, it isn't, but it's fun also though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I just kind of want to hear a little bit about how has the pre-draft process been for you? Have you kind of taken a moment to step back and let it all sink in that the draft is coming up and you're going to be an NFL player, or are you kind of just taking it one day at a time and not really focusing on that for now?
I'm kind of taking it one day at a time. There's moments where I think about the draft is around the corner, and it's kind of big time to be once a college player, or a kid. You dreamt of this moment and stuff, but I don't get too overwhelmed with it. I still think there's a lot of work to be done up until that point. Just staying in the weight room, staying on the field, and staying ready. And I kind of sit back and think about it, but I don't overindulge on it. I'm not caught up on rounds or, if I'm going to get drafted or what round and stuff like that. I'm just enjoying the process, and taking it all in for what it is and meeting great people along the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's, very similar to what you said, when I first interviewed you at a media day. And of course, you were just getting interviewed by everybody. So, I mean, it was definitely a fun time. You seemed very excited. And obviously, I was there the whole week, and I thought you did a really nice job, throughout the week of practice, going into the game. What was your overall experience like at the Senior Bowl? Because I didn't get a chance to talk to you afterwards.
My overall experience was really good. It was a lot of just well-known guys out there, and some guys trying to make a name for themselves. So the competition level was really high. And it was just overall a good experience, to get out in front of a lot of different eyes and show what I can do against the best of the best, and just kind of have fun with it like that, and network with different coaches and stuff like that, and just meet a whole bunch of different people that surround us with football. So it was a very good experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's awesome, for sure. It just seems like, being able to be at the Senior Bowl would just be such an incredible experience, that you'll remember forever. And not only did you play there, but you had your pro day. What was that like?
Pro day was amazing. It was a long time coming. We had one of the later pro days, and it felt like forever, just to get up until that date. But stepping out there on the grass with former players again, and just running and talking, it's kind of overall just kind of competing and just doing the best of our best, and just being able to get pro day over with was really, it was just a sense of relief. It was just even better to do it with, guys that I played with formerly. So it was an overall good day.
Yeah, and Bruce, obviously watching your game, you do a little bit of everything as a running back. I feel like, you're very solid in pass pro. Obviously you have, well-balanced game, and you can return kicks and punts if you want to. But what would you say is the biggest strength of yours?
I would say just the fact that I can line up in the slot and run routes, or just my ability to catch and run routes. I feel like most running backs, they can catch all right, or, they kind of struggle with catching. But I do it very. It just comes natural to me. It's with ease. It's something I work real hard on. Running routes out the backfield, running routes in the slot, and just really focus on having sure and strong hands. I feel like that's one of my upsides to playing running back.
Is there anything that you're looking to improve on as the draft approaches?
Oh yeah, I'm always trying to improve everything, whether it's pad level, speed, acceleration, vision. By no means do I think I'm a finished back or the best back there is. I'm always trying to get better. I'm focusing on pass pro, being that much stronger in pass pro, and just basically just going back to the drawing board and making sure I'm strong just with the fundamentals of just everything. So when it come mini camp and stuff, I'm ready and I'm ready to excel. There won't be no kind of hitch in my step or, kind of sluggish movements or anything.
So for, a listener on here that hasn't watched your film, and I don't really condone that, but how would you describe your game, if they had never seen you play? How would you describe your game, and what would you say is your style of play as a running back?
I would just say a brute force. There's plenty of games where I impose my will on the defense, or I kind of just finesse my way in the flat, catch a ball and kind of take it 75 yards off a screen or running routes and stuff like that. So I'm just a very versatile running back. If you put on the film, you'll see me returning kicks. You'll see me going down on kickoff and making big hits and stuff like that. So I'm kind of a running back who does it all and just electric on the field and has fun with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure. And, this next question is just kind of a fun question that we like to ask running backs who come on our show. But who would you most want to juke by to score a game-winning touchdown in the NFL?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Who would you most want to juke by to score a game-winning touchdown in the NFL?
Oh man, that's a tough that's a tough one. I don't know. You guys kind of stumped me with that one. I don't really have an answer for that, man.
Yeah, it's normally. I mean, maybe your old teammate Nick DeLuca.
Yeah, I can throw Nick in there. I can throw a former teammate, Chris Board, who's in the NFL now. He's on the Ravens, so I can definitely throw up those two dudes, Nick or Chris, just for old time's sake.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'd be a fun moment for obviously the different Bison fan that are watching. But with that being said, we are a Rams-based podcast. So I have to ask you, have you met with the Los Angeles Rams or spoken with them throughout this process? And if so, where did that take place?
Yeah, I've definitely spoke with the Rams. I went out there not too long ago and met with the coaches and sat down and stuff like that. And honestly, it was just an amazing visit on both ends. And it was just great to meet with them, furthermore, and just get that side of the things rolling.
That's awesome. We love to hear that. And, because Jake and I, we are big fans of you. We're obviously big Rams fans, so we would love to see you end up a Ram. But, no matter where you go, we're going to be fans of you because we really think that you're an absolute beast. We love watching you play. We can't wait to continue watching you play on Sundays. So, but definitely glad to hear that you talk to the Rams. That's for sure. But, just to wrap it up, in your own words, who is Bruce Anderson as a player and who is he as a person?
As a player, one of the most hardworking guys on the team, very passionate about the game of football and loves to compete. And as a person, just an all-around good guy, very respectful, loves to have fun, and a big family man.
Hey, that's awesome, man. We're really obviously we're blown away, but I mean, I've already spoken to you and actually met with you in person, so not entirely shocked, more so Alexis, but we really appreciate you coming on. We know it's late in the process, you're busy, and it sounds like you had a private visit with the Rams, which is awesome. I'm sure our listeners are absolutely going to be stoked about that, but just really appreciate you, man. Stay healthy. Good luck, and let's keep in touch, Bruce.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys having me on the show, and it was a blast. Thank you.
Joining the podcast, we have Hawaii wide receiver John Ursua. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming up.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited to talk to you. And the first question we want to ask is, how did you get into the game of football?
I started playing football. Just I actually have a big family, so I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters, and we all grew up playing basketball first, but we then kind of moved over to football, and so that's when I kind of started. I'm the youngest of 7, so just growing up watching my brothers play and just competing every day made me enjoy and appreciate this game that I get to play now.
Yeah, of course. Youngest is 7. Wow, that's incredible. Normally they're like, oh, you're the middle child, or youngest is 7. That must have been something else. But, growing up, did you have a favorite NFL player?
I didn't start really watching the NFL until a little bit later, not till I got to high school. But I really enjoyed watching Victor Cruz. He's when I kind of started watching the game more and started studying more. So I really like Victor Cruz. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. He was such a fun wide receiver to watch. That's for sure. And when it came time for you to play in college, you ended up choosing Hawaii. What was the main factor for you in choosing there?
Being born and raised in Hawaii, I was born and raised in Kailua Kona on the Big Island. And so when Hawaii came knocking on the door coming out of high school, I felt like I, kind of owed the state. And, it was just a great opportunity for me to just stay home and play in front of my friends and my family. So it was a great experience for me.
Yeah, I love the Big Island. I've actually been there before. It was very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Big Island is the best island.
Yeah, and in 2018, you were the nation's leader in touchdowns with 16. Ranked nationally, 5th in receiving yards. You had, you were 8th in receiving yards per game, and you eclipsed 100 yards in 7 of the 13 games. What did this season mean to you as a whole? Because, those are some gaudy numbers.
Yeah, I was just, I was coming back from a torn ACL in 2017, and I just knew I had to work on my game a little bit more and do it the best I could to help out my team win football games. I did set some personal goals, like winning the Bolitnikoff Award and getting 1,500 yards was on the 2 goals on top of my list. But the main focus was just to help my team win and, be the best team player that I could be. And, the rest was history. And so it was such a blessing to be ranked amongst the best in college football this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. The things that you were able to do last season are absolutely incredible. And, I'm sure that you'll remember that season forever. Do you have a favorite memory or maybe a favorite play or game from your time playing college at Hawaii?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it was actually just this past season. We were down, I believe, 14 with about 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter against UNLV this year at home. And it was my last home game because I didn't get to play in the bowl game. We came back from 14 and got the ball back with about a minute left and caught the winning touchdown down the sideline to seal that win. And that was just the greatest memory that I've ever had in that stadium and as a UH Warrior.
That's awesome, man. And, we asked your teammate Jelani this question, who's the toughest player you played against in college, and he brought up you. So we're interested to know who you bring up as far as this question goes. I don't want to sound biased or cliche, but Jelani, Tavai is by far
because I got to go against him every single day, day in, day out, he was probably the toughest guy I've gone against. I know it was only practice, but the amount of work that he puts in and the energy that he brings onto a field definitely made me want to step up my game and really, try to compete every day. And so he was by far, well, not by far, but he was probably one of the best players I've ever gone against, too.
Yeah, that's awesome. He certainly is a very talented player, as are you. So I can imagine that the battles, you guys had in practice were pretty incredible. And, speaking of competing, against teammates and with your teammates, you just had your pro day. How was that?
Oh, it was an awesome experience for me. It was such a blessing to just go out there and showcase, everything I've kind of been working for. And it was just a huge blessing that, UCLA let us use their field and were kind enough to let us participate and do our pro day there. But it was a great day for me. I felt like I put up some good numbers, and so now it's kind of just a waiting game. But I feel like I did a good job there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Just hearing about that, obviously pro day is a huge day for you. As far as a player, I mean, you obviously have a ton of strengths, watching your, film and everything, but what would you say is your biggest strength?
I think one of my biggest strengths is just after getting the ball, it's my yards after catch, it's my yak, it's my ability to make one person miss and kind of utilize my speed after that. I know I can, I put defenders in a really tough situation tough position to tackle me. And so that's always been one of my strong suits playing this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, is there anything that as the draft approaches you're looking to improve on?
Yeah, just continued, improving on my route running and just looking the ball in at the end. If I can really focus on those two key aspects, because I know in the National Football League it's going to be a little bit different, but nothing that I'm not prepared for. But, I just want to make sure my routes are a little more crisp in and out of breaks and getting people's hands off of me.
Yeah, of course. And, obviously, being a wide receiver that has put up such gaudy numbers in college, I mean, you're one of the best that are, coming into this draft. But, I want to know, what do you bring to the table that no other wide receiver brings?
Man, this is a business, and I totally understand that. But to be honest, I mean, I feel like I'm the best receiver. When I step on the field, I feel like I'm the best receiver out there, and nobody can stop me. As far as if you put me in a man-to-man situation or in zone, I'm gonna pick apart a defense. And but it's not only that, it's just my energy, my love for this game, my passion for this game is just beyond. It's beyond anything that I do in my life. Like, obviously my family and my religion is important to me, but this game is my love, and it's everything. It means everything to me. And so, I could bring that, that really just that energy and that enthusiasticness to just go out there and compete every day.
I love it. I love the answer. And I certainly, think a lot of people would agree with you, and your passion is certainly something that you can watch when you play. You can see it in you. And this next question is just kind of a fun question that we have. There might not be one answer to this, if any, but who would you most want to moss in the NFL?
Shoot, that's a good question. I would like to moss the honey badger, Tyrann Matthews, just because he's when I was in college, I always used to watch his tape, and he's just such an exciting and fun player to watch. But I think competing against him and doing that would be a pretty special moment.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Obviously, I like that you just started cracking up when we said Moss. It's definitely a question that we find hilarious, especially because, Randy Moss is awesome. But I mean, just think about it. I mean, how many, last names turn into verbs? Like, it's incredible. But if you had to pick a quarterback to catch a touchdown pass from in the NFL, what would it be? Who would it be? Sorry. Who would it be?
Who would it be? That's probably, just historically speaking, probably a cool quarterback would be Tom Brady, just because he'll go down in history and debatably the best quarterback to ever play. And so I think that would be pretty cool historically.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's certainly a popular answer. It definitely would be cool to say that you caught a touchdown pass from Tom Brady, for sure. And we are a Los Angeles Rams podcast, so we ask every every person that comes on our show, have you met or spoken with the Los Angeles Rams?
Yes, I actually just spoke to them today, and so we've kept in touch through this whole process.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's awesome, man. And if you don't mind me asking, whereabouts have you spoken with them at, like, the pro day?
I spoke with them at the pro day, but they actually just reached out to my cell, obviously, because I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona now. But they called me again today and just kind of broke down a little bit of their thought process as far as where they see me fitting in their offense and where they see me as a probable draft pick. And so, obviously they have a great receiving core with Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, and what's his name?
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp, yes, exactly, Eastern Washington. So, we just spoke briefly today, and so it was good. It was good to hear from them, and I think it would be a great fit for me, and just to learn from those guys in front of me as well. But it's good to know that they know who I am.
Absolutely. I mean, we love to hear that, and love to hear that there's been contact there, because Jake and I are really big fans of your game. We love watching you play. We think you're incredibly talented and are going to have a really successful career in the NFL. So we'd love to see you end up on the Rams, but no matter where you end up, we're going to be fans and we're going to follow your career for sure. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And just to wrap it up, in your own words, who is John Ursua, the player, and who is he as a person?
John Ursua, as a person, is just a fun, loving guy. I mean, I'm fairly quiet until you get to know me. I don't become loud or anything like that, but I'm just, I enjoy being around good company, good spirits, and just very upbeat. And John Ursua as a player is just a savage. I just turn on a whole different switch and become very, very competitive as far as competing on every single thing that I do. And so I turn in a little bit into a different person there, but I just love to compete while I'm on that field and the passion for that game again.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with that. I love that you mentioned savage. I definitely got a kick out of the word usage there. But it's great to hear that the Rams have reached out to you and we're at your pro day and have been in contact. We'd love to see you in Horns. Kind of going back to what Alexis said. If not, we're still going to be rooting for you. Really appreciate you taking the time. And we know it's late, so we really appreciate you coming on, and we just wish you the best of luck. Stay healthy, and let's keep in touch, John.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you calling your time.
Yeah, of course. Have a good one, John.
All right, take care.